For the next 7 days, I'll be completely alone out here in the frozen wilderness. Beyond these trees lies a chain of remote lakes, and an adventure that, if I'm being honest, I'm not entirely sure I'm ready for. The walking conditions are so nice right now. I'm so grateful. This nice hard packed snow is making my life a whole lot easier. Pretty good hill climb here. My butt cheeks are on fire. Just found this feather in the snow. I think that's probably off of a woodpecker. Well, I think this point that I'm on is going to make for a really nice campsite. Just a stunning view of the lake. Golden hour. Just doesn't get much better than this. Putting these spruce boughs down before I light my fire so that it doesn't just instantly melt into one big puddle. That is easily 2 feet of ice. This freeze-dried penne bolognese has become my favorite camp meal by far. Shout out to Camp Kitchen. Look them up. These guys are changing the game. Nothing quite like a warm meal at the end of a long day. Let me tell you, I've had a heck of a day. I had a 7-hour drive to get here, so I left super early this morning. And then when I showed up, I wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to get a parking spot to enter this area, because these are all sort of like backcountry logging roads, and who knows when the plow comes by. But I was able to find a nice little spot right off the road where a plow, I guess it was like a snow plow turnaround area, but there was no parking signs or anything, so I'm like, all right, perfect. Snagged it, parked my car. There's plenty of room. Even if the snowplow did need to come by, there was plenty of room to make like a 3-point turn in a big vehicle. I was getting all my gear situated, got everything strapped to the sled. I'm good, I'm ready to go. I wanted to park my car as close to the snowbank as possible. I ended up getting my car stuck in the snowbank. I'm all alone, no cell service, starting to freak out a little bit. Luckily, I brought a shovel because it would be stupid not to bring a shovel into a situation like this. But yeah, I spent 2 hours shoveling out my car, sort of in a panic. I ended up like cutting a couple shrubs down and putting it under the wheels just to get enough traction to try and get my car out a little bit. And finally I did, not without a lot of effort. Basically what I'm saying is that after such a chaotic start, to be sitting here right now next to the campfire, eating some good food at an awesome campsite, it was a great walk-in. I'm just so glad that this trip is finally off to a good start. Oh, I have a feeling I'm gonna sleep so well tonight. It is so much windier and so much colder than it was yesterday, but that's okay, I'm prepared for it. This is actually an interesting trip to begin with because it will be my longest winter camping trip to date. I'm really excited about it. I'm also cold camping, which means I don't have a hot tent with a wood stove to heat it. I just have my regular tent that I use for canoe tripping in the summertime. And so that means I'm gonna have to find other ways to stay warm. One of them is to move every day. I'm gonna be changing locations, pulling that sled, and just heating my body through exercise. And two, in order to do that, I need to have so many calories throughout the day. I just have to be eating. So I'll run you through a typical day of eating. I'll wake up, I'll do a camp kitchen freeze-dried breakfast, as well as a hot coffee with a scoop of protein powder in it. And this is chocolate protein powder, so it's like mocha hot chocolate almost, but healthy. And then I've got to be snacking throughout the day. So I've got lots of bars, these RX bars, I've got Lar bars, I've got a handful of dates, a handful of beef jerky, some fruit to goes, lots of carbs in here, and then a couple beef sticks. It needs to be high calorie, high carb, high protein, high everything. I'm just gonna be burning calories like no tomorrow. And then every night I'll have another one of those camp kitchen meals. And all this put together will roughly add up to about 4,000 calories a day, with somewhere around 180 grams of protein. Camp is all packed up. It's time to see what's around the next corner. Oh, it's really coming down out here. I'm walking directly into the wind, so the snow is pelting me in the eyes, even with these sunglasses on. Walking across the lake is so nice because there's no elevation change. You're just on flat ground the entire time. But now that I'm tucked away in the woods a little bit and I'm gonna be walking on a trail, it is so beautiful. It's so quiet. I'm out of the wind, not getting pelted in the face with snow. And plus, someone's been through here on a snowmobile, so the trail is packed down, which is gonna make it a lot easier to pull the sled. I'm not gonna be trudging through deep snow. That is a big rock. This whole area is just jaw-dropping. This is like a canyon wall behind me. And then up ahead, there's a little bit of an island, and I think I'll see if I can set up camp there for tonight. Wouldn't it be awesome if I could catch my dinner tonight? Wow, I can't get over how thick that ice is. Got this little white tube jig. We'll see what I can do. Looks like the sun is poking out a little bit through the clouds up above that ridge. Beautiful. All right, I've been fishing for about an hour and I just got my first bite. My heart's racing a little bit. It'd be really nice if I can get one here. I just drilled another hole, trying a little bit deeper this time. I can't lie, it's pretty frustrating to have missed that only bite. Although it does make me hopeful that they are in here. It's getting late though. I think it's just about time to get a fire going and have some food. Shepherd's pie tonight. I'm looking forward to this. While I wait for my food to rehydrate, I'm gonna go get my bed ready. For anyone who's curious about my sleep setup, I've got this inflatable sleeping mat to keep me up off the cold snow. And then on top of that, I put this foam pad, which helps reflect my body heat back onto me. And then this was a minus 18 sleeping bag, but I've literally spent like hundreds of nights in this bag, and it's gotten a few burn holes in it throughout the years just from sleeping next to the fire. And so it's lost a little bit of the down. So it might be more like a minus 10 bag. And then I always put this fleece liner inside of it just for a little extra warmth. And then on the really cold nights, I'll also put some hot water into my Nalgene bottle and tuck that into my sleeping bag. It's like a little heat pack, and that'll stay nice and hot for hours and hours. But it is so beautiful out here today. There's a little bit of a dusting of snow on all the trees on the ridgeline, and it is just so quiet. No wind, not a sound. My dad and I used to laugh at mornings like this and say it's so quiet that you could hear your eyelids blinking. And that's not a joke. I actually can hear my eyelids blinking, like hitting each other. Unreal. It's like day 3 out here. I've already lost my mind. You know, being out here, you really start to realize how fragile all of this is. These lakes and these forests, they feel permanent, but they're not. I think about that a lot. I want kids 20 years from now to explore these same areas and hear these same birds calling, and really feel that same sense of awe that made me fall in love with the outdoors in the first place. That's one of the reasons I became a member of Planet Wild. Planet Wild is a global community that crowdfunds real on-the-ground nature missions every single month. Over 20,000 members come together to fund these missions that bring back endangered species, restore forests, and protect our oceans. And you actually get to see the impact in less than 30 days because they document every mission right here on YouTube. What I love about it is that it's solution-focused. It's not just talking about what's wrong with our planet, it's about actively fixing things. For example, in one of their previous missions, they protected one of Europe's last ancient forests by funding chainsaw detectors. It was absolutely incredible. I joined because I didn't want to just explore these wild places. I wanted to help protect them too. The cool thing is you can be a part of it from home. You don't have to be out in the wild. Your membership funds a new mission every month, and you get updates and reports showing exactly what the community accomplished. If you want to join a growing community that's making a real difference for nature, consider becoming a member of Planet Wild. You can give whatever amount feels right because every little bit counts. And there's no catch. You can cancel at any time. The first 100 people that sign up using the code BEN4 will get their first month covered by me. Just scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description. And if you want to see exactly what they're doing, check out their mission protecting ancient forests link below. Let's keep places like this wild. We got a real thick fog rolling through. It's actually more like rain drizzling, which I'm not thrilled about. I was planning on moving today, changing up spots, but I think I'm gonna stay put and shift my focus to catching this fish for dinner. It's been like 3 hours with no action at all. I'm just standing here absolutely hopeless. I had my rod down and it was just sitting on the ground, and I watched the tip go down. I picked it up, went to set the hook, broke off instantly. Unbelievable. I lost a fish on my last trip, and that's 2 on this trip that I've lost. I'm 0 for 3 on chances for what I think are hopefully lake trout. I'm cold. Big dead tree was caught up in some branches way up high. What an effort, but well worth it. This is going to be some good firewood, and actually came across to the opposite shoreline from the island, and got some firewood from the mainland so that I'm not disrupting any of the vegetation on the island. It's kind of limited. I just looked back and there is the most beautiful pink sky. It's been so gray. I feel like I haven't seen color in forever. All right, this is my first time trying the jambalaya. I wish you could smell that through the camera. It's that Cajun seasoning. All right, cheers. Wow. A lot of people are afraid of the freeze-dried shrimp, but if you didn't know this was freeze-dried, you'd never know. It comes back perfectly. Good morning, folks. Just woke up. That was a freezing cold night. Probably one of my coldest nights out. I have no idea how cold it got down to, but I had all this ice build up all around my face where I was breathing. Right where I was sleeping here, that's where my head was. That's not snow. That's ice crystals that have all built up on the edge of my my tent here, sorry. All these ice crystals. So just throughout the night as I was breathing, just that hot air coming up was enough to freeze and form these crystals in my tent that are everywhere. But luckily, look at that. I think that's the sun shining through. What a nice feeling to get this fire going. You know, I managed to stay warm all night, but just waking up, that transition between the tent and getting the fire going is the worst part every morning. And it all comes down to trying to get my frozen boots on. I still can't get this boot on, it's still rock solid. I managed to squeeze this one on, but I kind of limped over here and I'm gonna try to get this boot on after it thaws out next to the fire. My goodness, what an absolutely gorgeous day. It's been, I think, a full 72 hours since the last time I saw the sun. It's a long time when you're out here alone. The sun is just such a mood boost. Even though it's like probably minus 15 or minus 20 right now, I can feel the heat of the sun on my face and it just feels so good. As I'm sitting here finishing up my breakfast, the fire is melting away all the snow from the ground surrounding the heat area, and I received a gift from the fishing gods. As the ground melted away, this little tiny grub just revealed itself up from the ground. So I'm gonna put that on a little hook and give this spot one last chance before I pack up and leave. I've really enjoyed my time at this campsite, but it's time to leave. I'm gonna move locations today, but I gotta give it one last shot now that I've got some live bait. All right, I'm hoping for a miracle here. Well, still sadly no bites. That's okay. It's time to pack up camp and move along here. There's a little creek flowing into the lake here up ahead, and it's creating some open water, so I can't resist. If I can find a good spot to stand offshore, I'm gonna throw a cast in, see if any fish are lingering. I cannot wait for the ice to come off the lakes. I feel like such an idiot casting here with an ice fishing rod. I just know in a month or two they're gonna be stacked up in a spot like this. This next lake that I'm pulling up to is just absolutely massive. Some pretty spectacular views around here. Alright, well this looks like it's going to be a really nice camp for tonight. Now, on a lake this big, a wise man would set up camp back in the woods where it's sheltered from the elements. But if I were to send a postcard back home to my family, would I want to take a photo of my tent in the woods where it's all boring? Or would I want to set my tent up out here where it's totally freaking epic? Well, I've got some pretty significant snowfall rolling through. Hope this doesn't get too bad, says the guy who just set his tent up out in the open to enjoy the view, which I might add is not visible right now. I must say, that was a pretty awesome day. But a tough one. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna finish this and then let's head right to bed. Well, I feel like I've spent long enough staring at this beautiful cliff. I think it's about time I find my way up to the top. Oh geez, this looked a lot less steep from way back on my campsite. Okay, I just got a serious reality check here. There is a small hole in the snow that reveals a massive crevasse that's like 8 feet deep. I do not want to fall into one of those. That's like seriously dangerous. And I am in Ontario. Why am I worrying about crevasses in Ontario right now? You're telling me there isn't a bear sleeping in there? I actually can't see the bottom of that. It's like a real deep cave. Like I could go in there. I'm not going to. I don't want to, but that's a cave. Yeah, that is straight up like 15 feet deep. Yes. Oh, I finally made it. What a view. That's my camp way down there. Wow. Oh, check this out. On an old trail marker here. It's like an old piece of bandana or something. And it's on a wire that's just squeezing the tree. You can see how old that is. Obviously, I'm not the first one to wonder what the view from the top looks like. There's actually a much better view off the backside of this little mountain. Way more elevation drop. I'm pretty much at the top of the mountain and way up in the tree. It's the same material as the trail marker a little ways back. And that to me looks like a cow's skull. Cow or a bison, it's hard to tell, but there's horns. Can you see the horns there? Wrapped in this cloth material. Like, what am I looking at? Way up in the tree, it's all tied up there. This is so uncomfortable. Everything about this is weird. Like, I've heard of hunters who will bury deer skulls underground so that all the bugs and the worms can eat away at all the meat, and then it helps preserve the skull. But I don't know if it's something like that, but this is just so weird. And at the top of essentially a mountain, a mini mountain, like someone would have had to wrap that and carry it up here. It's just so weird, so odd. It's so uncomfortable. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not to make a big deal of this, but you gotta remember, I'm alone in the woods right now, and to find something like that, oh. Well, this little adventure took much longer than expected. Let's hope I can make it back down to the lake before I have to use my headlamp. So I'm just sitting here, eating my dinner, trying my best not to think about that creepy bullhead staring down at me from the top of the mountain. Like, seriously, what was that? So weird. But other than that, this has been quite the rewarding trip. Difficult. It's been challenging, but rewarding. through my sunglasses, I can see a sundog. I do not like putting sunscreen on, but I absolutely love the days where the sun is shining so bright that I'm probably gonna get burned if I don't. It's a fair trade. It is just gorgeous out here this morning. I don't know how true this is, but I remember reading somewhere that the human sense of smell is our sense that is the most closely related to our memories, which I can kind of understand. Like, if you've ever been walking down the street one day and you smell wet leaves in the fall time, and then all of a sudden you're just flooded with these memories of playing outside with your friends at recess in grade 3, you know? I think that's so cool. But the reason I'm talking about this is that I just put sunscreen on my face, and all of a sudden I just got hit with like these memories of being a little kid running along the beach, and you know, like I'm smelling the sunscreen and it smells like I'm at the zoo. Even though this adventure has all the elements of a winter camping trip, believe it or not, we are well into spring. I believe it's March 28th today, and the first day of spring was March 21st. It doesn't feel like it, but I'm starting to feel it today, actually. Just that warmth on my skin and the smell of sunscreen. Oh, I've just been baking in the sun for hours today. It's been so nice. I do have to get going soon though. Start making my way back. Got a lot of distance to cover before I go home. But there is one thing that I've been wanting to do for this entire trip, and I don't think there's a better time to do it than now.
Oh, yeah. You can imagine I have not bathed in almost a week, so this is quite necessary. Oh, got my shoulders under. Oh. Wow, that's cold. Just breathe. All right, that's all I got. Oh.
Well, this has just been one of the most incredible campsites I've ever stayed at. I think I'm gonna remember this one forever. It's tough to leave, but I do have to cover some distance. Well, I've decided I'm gonna make my way back to that island from a few nights ago where I lost those fish. It's a gorgeous evening, and I just have a gut feeling they're gonna be biting tonight. Just stopped here for a second because this looked like a good spot. Behind me is that open water where the creek is flowing in. I'm not far from it, but I checked the ice and there's still like 2 feet of ice. It's ridiculous. And I just feel like this is such a good spot. I don't know. Maybe I got an ice fishing curse. I'm not meant to catch fish through the ice. Save it all for the summertime. I mean, it's one thing to get skunked for a day, but a week, skunked for a week. I'm gonna have to hand my fishing license in. I left a little bit of firewood here at this campsite for the next person. And it looks like I'm the next person. Since this is my last night, I'm gonna have a nice big bonfire to celebrate an awesome trip. So I got these two big round logs and they're going on. Beauty. My final dinner on this trip, creamy chicken Alfredo. I am so excited. I'm hungry. You know what? I gotta say, I've really enjoyed my time out here. On longer trips, especially in the winter time, you know, you have those moments in your sleeping bag where you're laying there at night and you're just freezing. You're just wishing you were in your own bed. And I had moments like that on this trip, but for the most part, I've really, really enjoyed myself. And to be sitting here having my last dinner, it's kind of a bittersweet feeling. I'm not really itching to go home. I love it out here. For my final breakfast on this trip, I'm rehydrating some beef chili mac. I don't care that it's 9 a.m. I'm happy because I'm free. Cheers, folks. After a full week of travel on snowshoes, pulling a sled, processing firewood every day, multiple times a day, setting up and tearing down camp, and then just everything your body goes through just trying to stay warm. I'm feeling it. I am moving slow today. I feel like I'm completely burnt out. I felt really good all week, but today I'm just, I've got 5 kilometers to get out of here, and I'm dreading it. My back, my hips, my knees, everything is starting to go. I sound like an old man. But yeah, it's important to take rest days, which I just didn't really do on this trip. All right, let's start this journey on home once and for all. Here's the beauty of the downhill sections. This right here, folks, is the final portage. Once I get to the other end of this trail, I'll only have one more lake to cross.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Well, we've just about made it. All that's left to do is to get to the other end of this lake, and my journey will be complete. But before I sign off, I just want to remind anyone who's interested in becoming a Planet Wild member to help protect beautiful places just like this one, that you can sign up using my code BEN4. And the first 100 people who sign up will get their first month paid for by me. Just scan the QR code on screen or click the link down below in the description. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this spectacular journey. This has been mentally and physically challenging, but so rewarding, unreal. And thank you so much for continuing to support this channel. It means so much to me. I love you all, and I will see you in the next one.